Today, the story you will hear and see is about a king who asked strange questions to test the wisdom and love of his people. This king ruled a faraway land called Sheher-e-Buland. His name was Sher Shah. In his kingdom, there was justice and fairness. No one ever returned empty-handed from his court. If people came seeking justice, they found justice. If they asked for food, money, clothes, or anything else, they always received it. The people used to say, the decision of King Sher Shah is never wrong. But who can escape destiny? Even those who serve justice can make mistakes. And the mistake that happened to King Sher Shah was not with a stranger, but with his own daughter. The king had 3 daughters. The eldest was 25 years old. The second was 22. The youngest was 20. All 3 princesses were known for their beauty, but the youngest, Dilnasheen, was not only the most beautiful but also the wisest. The eldest was named Gulab, the second was Meher, and the youngest was Dilnasheen. The king loved all 3 dearly, but because Dilnasheen was the youngest, his heart leaned toward her the most. He was both her father and her mother, since her real mother had passed away. Whenever Sher Shah was free from the affairs of the kingdom, he spent time with his daughters. They would walk in the gardens, laugh, talk, and share joy. One day, while walking with them in the royal gardens, the king was so happy that he began to sing. The princesses clapped and danced with joy.
In the garden where the roses bloom, laughter shines and clears all gloom. Golden sunlight warms the air, joy and love are everywhere.
Daughters dear, my heart's delight, you make my days forever bright, like stars that twinkle in the sky. Your love lifts my spirit high. Sing with me, oh voices true, for my heart belongs to you. Sing with me, your voice is true, for my heart belongs to you. Sing with me, your voice is true, for my heart belongs to you.
Afterward, they ate together and went to their chambers to sleep. But that night, lying in his bed, King Sher Shah thought, I have never asked my daughters how much they love me. Tomorrow I will ask them. And the one who loves me the most will be married to the most handsome prince in the world. The next morning, after finishing his duties in court, the king went to the garden with his daughters and said, My beloved daughters, you know I have my own way of testing love and wisdom. Today I will test you. I will ask each of you one question. Your answer will decide who your husband will be. The princesses looked at each other in surprise, then turned to their father and said, All right, father. Ask us. The king smiled and asked, Tell me, how much do you love me? First, he turned to the eldest, Gulab, "You will answer first." Gulab said sweetly, "Father, I love you more than sugar." The king was very pleased. Then he asked Meher, the second daughter. She said, "Father, I love you more than jaggery." The king was happy again. Now it was Dilnasheen's turn. He waited eagerly, for he loved her the most. "My beloved Dilnasheen, tell me, how much do you love me?" Dilnasheen looked at her father and spoke gently. "Father, my love for you is so deep, it cannot be described in words. But since you want an answer, I will say, I love you as much as salt." Hearing this, Gulab and Meher burst into laughter. But King Sher Shah's face turned red with anger. "I gave you more love than your sisters, and yet you love me only as much as salt." Dilnasheen stayed silent. The king, in his anger, left the garden. A few days later, he married Gulab and Meher to wealthy and powerful princes. But Dilnasheen, he married her to a poor young man named Sahil, who lived in a small village of Sheher-e-Buland. Sahil was more handsome than many princes, but he was poor and had no parents. The kingdom was shocked by the king's decision. But Dilnasheen quietly accepted her fate and went with Sahil. When they reached his home, she saw it was messy. Clothes and dirty dishes were scattered everywhere. Sahil quickly hid the clothes in a basket, pushed the dishes aside, and asked her to sit on a simple bed. For food, he gave her wild fruits. The next morning, when Sahil went to work, Dilnasheen began to clean the house. By evening, when he returned, his eyes widened with wonder. The house sparkled with beauty. Dilnasheen had decorated it with flowers and vines from the forest. She welcomed him warmly and served him food. The taste was so delicious that Sahil kept eating with joy. For the first time in his life, he had eaten such a meal. Days passed. Sahil worked hard, and whatever he earned, he gave to Dilnasheen. Being wise, she spent half carefully and saved the rest. Slowly, their lives improved. One day, they built a beautiful new house together. Then Dilnasheen said, "Sahil, invite my father, the king, to dine with us." Sahil hesitated. "Will he accept our invitation?" Dilnasheen replied softly, "Why not? I am still his daughter." So, one day, King Sher Shah came to their home. Dilnasheen cooked many delicious dishes. But in all the food, she did not put salt. Only in the chutney did she add salt. When the king sat to eat, he tasted the dishes, but left them aside. Instead, he took bread and ate it only with the chutney. Dilnasheen asked, "Father, why are you eating only the chutney? I made so many dishes, all your favorites. Why leave them?" The king sighed, "Because they have no salt. Only the chutney has it. That is why I eat it." Dilnasheen looked into her father's eyes and said, "Now you understand the importance of salt. Without it, even the richest dishes lose all their taste. But with just a little salt, even simple food becomes delicious." Father, in life, sweetness is not as important as salt. Salt gives meaning to everything. Hearing this, King Sher Shah's eyes filled with tears. He embraced Dilnasheen and begged for forgiveness. Then he took her and Sahil back to the palace. A great celebration was held, and the king announced, "From this day on, Sahil will be the ruler of this kingdom." And so, joy returned to the palace once again. If you liked this moral story, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you.